Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Bit of a weird and different video for you today. Yeah, I know, it's just me sat here talking to you. But I need to do this video because if anyone... Look, I've been sent it multiple times because YouTube doesn't notify you. Godzilla vs. Kong footage was shown at CCXP in Brazil. Now, I did actually do a video on that, but unfortunately it was taken down and my channel received a copyright strike. Now, I'm going to go into multiple things in this video. I'm going to talk about the footage. I'm not going to show it, I'm afraid. I just simply can't. However, I will show you an artist's rendition of said footage, and I will leave their sort of link or handle down below just to give them some credit, because obviously props to you guys for creating things off the back of it. Now, I need to do this video for a few reasons, because of course you guys want to know my thoughts on the Godzilla vs. Kong footage. But then also, it's Warner Brothers' reaction to the footage that really does need to be addressed. And again, not only that, is it does actually confirm, supposedly, again, it appears to confirm the trailer description which was launched when there was the Russian Expo, the Russian Cinema Expo a while ago. So there's a whole wide range of topics that we're going to be discussing today. It will be somewhat meandering, somewhat just me sat here talking to you about it all. So if it's not for you, just please do click off. But I simply can't show you any of the footage because Warner Brothers are really going balls to the wall on this, and I think I really do, and I'll explain it all properly. But I think that shows they are really concerned. Now, that's not to be mistaken for the movie actually being bad, but they are really concerned about it. Okay, so they're two different things there, right? They could be concerned that the movie be great, or they could be, not concerned that the movie be absolutely terrible. So, but I think this really does show that they are concerned. So let's talk about the footage for starters, right? All it showed, it was a 3-second clip on a sizzle reel of upcoming features by Warner Brothers. It was not a feature trailer, as some people seem to kind of think that it was. It was literally 3 seconds long. It was a sizzle reel, part of everything else, and all it showed was Kong leaping up, beating his chest, leaping up, and then doing what I believe to be known as a falcon punch down onto Godzilla. Now, Godzilla doesn't move, he doesn't really respond, and that's where it ends. Now, there are a few things which I found... let's talk about the pros first, because there are some things which I thought were potentially concerning, which seem to have got people's backups. But well, we're not, to be objective, you have to talk about the good and the bad. And people often mistake just mentioning bad things as being a hater. Please don't do that. That's retarded. So the good stuff was it looked absolutely incredible. It really looked great. It was low quality, but you could see the scars all over Kong's chest. It looked incredibly cinematic. Very, very much so. Really, really cinematic. The framing of the shot was, again, fantastic. And I'll try to leave an artist's rendition over the top whilst I'm saying all of this stuff. Now, again, this is an artist's rendition. It's not a thumbnail. Okay, so please, goddamn Warner Brothers, please don't copyright strike this video. I don't want to have to email you again. I don't want to deal with you. It's too much stress. And it was really, really great. It was really cinematic. Now, there were a few awkward bits and pieces in there, though. The way Godzilla was standing was a little bit odd. What they were standing on is the biggest point of contention, and this goes into sort of confirming the leaked trailer description, which I'll get into in a second, because that's high spoilers, and I want people to get to grips with my thoughts first. In fact, I'll get to that last and give you a big spoiler warning. Now, again, more pros, because there are a lot of pros. The color grading was great. It was like a sunset in the background. It just looked fantastic. Now, some of the cons which will be here, they were stood on an aircraft carrier. Now, a lot of people have said multiple times that they might just be standing in the water or on land, and the aircraft carrier is in front of them. It's simply not possible, because Godzilla's tail, you can find these images online, please do go and check them, and I hope you understand why I can't show them. Godzilla's tail is hanging off the front of this ship, and it is a ship. Now this throws out a lot of issues with the physics of the world, because a lot of people in an effort to justify this have said, well, no, this could be earlier on. Wrong. Sorry. It's simply not going to be. Legendary have stuck to the canon of their universe very, very well. And this is the Godzilla after King of the Monsters, because it has exactly the same dorsal plates, where he experienced the evolution between movies. So, he is big. And even if he was a smaller Godzilla, I mean, how much smaller is he going to be? Like, it just simply doesn't make sense. So, physics-wise, it doesn't really make sense. And you could say, well, look, maybe they've built like an Argo, seafaring vessel, just like the one they did for the sky. And yeah, I definitely can see that. Of course they can. But without that context, it does seem just a little bit odd. Especially when in 2014's Godzilla we have images of Godzilla quite literally swimming up against aircraft carriers and vastly dwarfing them. Like it's not even a joke, you know? So those are issues. The other main issue that I saw with this, not so much my issue, okay? And again, this isn't my issue, but I think this will be the average audience goer's issue. And probably some of you guys, because again, I do read the comments, is it's in darkness. Now, that's a common complaint about the recent King of the Monsters. It was all just in darkness, right? And also 2014's Godzilla. It was all dark. We couldn't really see anything. And people loved Kong Skull Island as a result of the tone and the lightness to the world. So yeah, it's in darkness, which I think a lot of people will be annoyed about. I just for transparency's sake, I really quite liked it. Just because I think that it's very cinematic. I thought it worked very, very well. And it just looked beautiful on the screen. There was some colour grading of the sunset in the background, which just looked top. Looked real, real good. But I do think people will have an issue with that. And also the fact that they're on an aircraft carrier. Like, what the fuck? Not only that, ladies and gents, Kong is equal to Godzilla in height. Now, he's not. There's not much of a jump that he's doing. He's jumping a little bit, and Godzilla's kind of squatting a little bit. Godzilla, in fact, looks really, really awkward and a little bit odd. It looks like he's sat on his tail. He's not stood upright. It's a very strange stance for Godzilla. It's not one actually that I've seen in the movies before, which is I'm trying to put my finger on like what he's doing. And I think people will have an issue with the size of Kong as well, without actual justification. And a lot of people have always used the old thing of, well, he's definitely growing, so of course he'd be that big. Well, look, unless his species experiences a ginormous growth spurt in the span of between 10 to 20 years, he's just simply not going to be that big without outside help. So I hope they find a way to justify it, and I am really looking forward to how they justify it. So again, don't mistake any of this for me just mindlessly hating. To be objective, you've got to talk about the good and the bad. It just so happens that despite numerous positives and saying it looks beautiful and all of this stuff, people just hone in on the bad, which is really, really, really odd, and really does show like a childlike mentality. So please don't do that. Now, the other thing which this is concerning about is Warner Brothers' reaction. Now, they should not have shown this at all. They shouldn't have shown this because it's going to piss people off. A lot, in fact. Mainly because now that wasn't a trailer, right? It was 3 seconds of footage. It's unlikely we are now going to get a trailer for a long time. So people are now going to hear about this, and they're going to be annoyed that they haven't seen it, that it's not been released to the public, and they haven't got a trailer. Now, I don't know that for certain, but standard marketing dictates that they're not going to do it. That's just kind of, logical marketing process. They didn't even announce anything to do with Godzilla vs. Kong at this panel. They didn't even say it was delayed. But we know it's delayed. That's confirmed. It's official. So it's very odd that they chose to show this. Very strange. And like I said, I do think this will come back and bite them in the arse quite a lot. And then it's just their reaction to it all. So bearing in mind, it's at a public expo, right? CCXP. So it's clearly people are going to be recording stuff. It's going to get out, right? It's not rocket science. It's very, very obvious that this was going to happen. You shouldn't have shown it if you didn't want it to get out there. And their reaction to this is simply to not claim videos, but to copyright strike them. Now, there's a big difference between claiming a video and a copyright strike, and there's a reason why I'm talking about this. This is not a woe is me scenario. This goes to show the mindset behind a studio when they do this, right? That's why I'm talking about it. A copyright claim is just, hey, you're using our material, we want to earn some money from that, or you're using our material, we want to block it in these territories because it's not released to them yet. Something like that, right? Now, a copyright claim you can fight. It doesn't tell you to take the video down unless they ask you to. It's a very professional way to interact between studios and creators and industry commentators, right? It's very, very professional. Now, a copyright strike for 3 seconds of footage without any audio when someone is talking over the top of it, and also because I've spoken to Warner Brothers, they would literally copyright strike a video even if you showed some of the screen grabs of this 3 seconds of footage. Shows a very, 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 very vindictive attitude. It shows concern. It shows that they are not confident in the movie. And it's a massive warning. It's not professional in any way, shape or form. That video that I did hadn't been out an hour and it had nearly 5,000 views. So it goes to show that, personally, from myself, I have a very, very big, dedicated Godzilla and Kong audience. They really do like to, they like to hear about this stuff. Now, to have that video pulled and the channel striked, which, is very difficult to resolve, like I say, because it shows a vindictive attitude from the studio. It's not a claim. You can file it. You can file like a counter notice to say, please don't strike my channel. But it's on the studio to be like, yay or nay. They don't have to do anything. They can just do whatever they want. That's how the system works. So, and bearing in mind, if they've done that, do you really think they're going to then just go, oh, sorry, we'll just stop that now. Don't worry about it. They don't care. At that point, the damage is done. They don't care. It's really, really bad press. It's really bad press, and it shows a complete lack of confidence in the movie. Now, I don't think this movie is going to be bad. I actually think this movie is going to be good. But if we track when they've done these things before, right? Again, this is all important. It's all relevant. 2014's Godzilla. When that was coming out, people were talking about it, and there were some leaked images and some little bit of screen grabs and trailers and things like that from expos and Comic-Cons and the like. Similar to this, they did a similar thing. They would take down videos and they would strike channels. That's understandable because it's the first entry in the MonsterVerse. So they didn't know how the market had responded yet. Okay, they didn't know. They hadn't released the film, so they didn't know what the market was thinking about the movie. So to say that they were a little bit concerned at that point is absolutely fair. It is justifiable. It makes perfect sense. Now, Kong Skull Island, they didn't really care about. Didn't care about at all. Right? Couldn't care less. Could not care less. Not too much about that. They'd filed the odd claim here and there, but not a strike. And you could fight these claims and normally you'd win. King of the Monsters, much the same, actually. Pretty much the same. They were fine. They were confident. They had a good response from 2014's Godzilla, Kong Skull Island. They were confident with that movie. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong rolls around after King of the Monsters' response. And now they're not confident. Now they're doing the copyright strikes. Now they're doing takedown notices. And that's a problem. That, to me, says a complete lack of confidence in the film. And it's just the whole way that they've handled themselves about it. Now, like I said, I've spoken to Warner Brothers because when you get copyright strikes, you see the details of who has striked your channel. So you can liaise with them to try to resolve the issue on a professional basis. I have spoken to them, and it was very, very clear cut. If you show any footage, if you show any thumbnails, any screen grabs, any pictures at all, we will strike your channel. That's insane. That's insane. Now, I have also spoken to D-Man, another prevalent, and popular Godzilla YouTuber. He has said that his inside sources at Warner Brothers have explained to him in a reasonable fashion as to why they've conducted themselves in this way. Unfortunately, he has not shared that with me. So, without any reasonable explanation, I will still go down the route of, logically speaking, they are very, very concerned for this. And I still think this will be a good movie, mind you. Nothing disputing that, but they are concerned in my eyes. Now, also, this does go on to confirm the leaked trailer description. Okay? Or it seems to confirm it, should I say. So there will be some spoilers for this, and quite hefty spoilers as well. And I think this will be where people get a little bit annoyed, right? Because I don't think people liked this trailer description. Now, everyone will remember the Russian Cinema Expo that was out a while ago. It's where we got that first image of Godzilla versus Kong battling. We could see Kong's epic new beard. Now, this has been confirmed by, I guess 2 people now anyway. And bearing in mind, this came out and was confirmed in September. And elements of this relate to what we've just seen with the footage. So this is why I think this is confirmed. So spoilers ahead for this, right? The description for Godzilla vs. Kong trailer with Cinema Expo. Alexander Skarsgård is walking into a building, an ancient temple or glacier. And he's apparently a villain. Now, over the top of this, there is a pathetic voiceover monologue about a great battle. So apparently the monologue's not very well performed. In this city, King Ghidorah is chained up. He is among the ruins of the city or mountains, and he is very angry. There is lightning in the sky, and it is striking all around him. So they brought back King Ghidorah. Now, we then flash from this trailer to the gloomy look of Kyle Chandler and Millie Bobby Brown in tears. There is some unfinished CGI, so what they saw may not be exactly what it seemed to the audience at first, but this is what they thought they saw. A thunderstorm, open ocean, and a half-flooded aircraft carrier, the USS Missouri BB-63. Godzilla and Kong are fighting on an aircraft carrier. So, another aircraft carrier. There is an action sequence which follows. Kong hits Godzilla. Godzilla is feeling fine, and we saw that in the footage. There was no response from Godzilla. Godzilla then hits Kong, and Kong flies off to the other end of the location, or the aircraft carrier. And then it closes to movie title. This person then clarified further with the individuals at the Cinema Expo. Said about the Godzilla and Kong on an aircraft carrier. They asked several times from different people. That is exactly it. They've questioned and posited maybe it was a flashback to when Godzilla was smaller. It can't be, because he has the same dorsal plates in this footage. And also Kong doesn't look the same either. So it just simply can't be. Kong looks older. He's got the beard. You can see him. He also states that I note that everyone with whom I spoke hardly remembered what they saw. The only thing that massively kind of stuck out in their mind was the aircraft carrier. And the rest came through a series of questions. So they had to kind of press the individuals, which makes sense. I mean, you're at an expo. There's lots going on. It was a while ago. It makes perfect sense. And also, it went on to further clarify. And remember, this is in September. We're now in December. About the episode on the aircraft carrier, Godzilla is on the left side of the ship, Kong is on the right. The left side is tilted underwater, and this was the only scene with the finished CGI. So it's the only thing that they showed at this CCXP Brazilian Expo. So yeah, it kind of confirms that. Kind of. I don't know for certain, but it kind of does. Anyway, I've talked enough. I do think that Warner Brothers are concerned for this film. I do, however, think this will be a good film, and I do like what I saw. But nothing gets around the fact that with such a massive knee-jerk reaction, you are going to get people concerned about what you think of your own film, Warner Brothers. Now, I know you're probably going to watch this video only because you're going to be looking for more, because I had a manual claim and a manual strike. So I know you're probably going to be watching this video off the back end of that. That kind of reaction is really, really damaging. It's really damaging. Genuinely. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think? Now, the footage is all over the internet. You can see it all over Twitter. You could just do a simple Google search. You'll find it. Hope you understand why I couldn't show it. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like and a share. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I had a lot to cover. Let me know if you like the longer videos, though. Love to hear it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.